But yeah, so the one thing I'm doing right now that's interesting is, although we'll see how it works, is I've put together a winter folk show that is going to be a traveling folk show that I'm playing. I think I got 10 different dates up through from Mattawa to Ottawa, Perth, and everywhere in between. And so that was going to be my winter.
Yeah, whoops.
So we'll see how it goes, but
maybe it'll be the spring.
But the big difference this year is there's a lot of momentum, a lot of interest among the venues and people and musicians to keep going. So hopefully things won't completely shut down, and hopefully a bunch of these shows can happen. But that's going to be a lot of fun if it happens. And I did one last week in Deep River at Long Shots, and it was a lot of fun. And I love playing songs about the Ottawa Valley, and people love hearing the stories, and I get great feedback for that, and I'm grateful for that. But I'm going to play the Mayflower,
Yes,
which I know you've been wanting to hear,
Yes,
and this is a story of what was Canada's worst marine inland disaster for quite a few years, perhaps until the Edmund Fitzgerald happened. But so this is a story of the 1912 sinking of a 77-foot-long stern-wheeler steamer that steamed along between the villages of Combermere and Barry's Bay before they had a road connecting the two. And at Combermere there was a corundum mine, and so they used to haul concentrate from the mine up to the railhead at Barry's Bay, and then passengers as well, and cargo and that sort of thing. And they were shutting down the season that one year, 1912, and it was November 12th, and a fellow came up and asked the captain to do one last run because a relative of theirs by the name of John Brown who had died, I guess weeks or days, I don't know, earlier in Saskatchewan in a hunting accident, was being shipped, and they wanted to bury him near Combermere before the frost set in the ground. So they begged the captain to do one last run. The captain eventually agreed to do so, but they had already taken the lifeboat off the steamer, and there weren't as many life jackets as there should have been, and a bunch of things like that. And they took off on this last cruise up to from Combermere up to Barry's Bay, and apparently when they landed at the wharf at Barry's Bay, they hit with some speed into the wharf and sort of hit it hard, and that might have been the initial part for why the boat sank on the return voyage. But on the return voyage, they left in the dark, which to me is a bit concerning, because I don't know how you'd see, because all they had was coal lanterns. They didn't have lights, electric lights, and so these guys steamed their way from Barry's Bay at the start of what was a November gale with wind and snow, and then when they're out on the big lake in the middle of Kaministiquia, it started to sink, and apparently they put the coal to it to try and forge ahead, and it just propelled it into the water, and then it rolled, but the corpse of John Brown, who was in a coffin, was what saved 3 men. So if you look this story up in Ripley's Believe It or Not, you'll see that's there, the sinking of the Kaministiquia. So this is my version of the Mayflower, and I think I'm probably the third, if not fourth, person to write music about this accident. So this happened November 12th, 1912, on Lake Kaministiquia. Was never a story of losses so great. The Mayflower sailed daily the length of the lake. The ship was well aged, but she tracked to the course, and the crew was weathered, but there was no remorse. It's one more run, the hours there then back. At the bay was a coffin to return to the town, whose passing saved others who surely been drowned. On landing at port, they raised many a glass at the Balmoral Tavern amid sadness and laughs. vessel took water, so the men took to bail. But the seepage was steady to little avail. So they poured on coal to push through the port. Oh, the Mayflower she sang, and the cold dark waters of she sang without warning, we sent men to the lake. 4 men grabbed the coffin, they drifted away. On Gull Island they landed, but a fire would not start. And 1 man succumbed to a frozen heart. Only 3 men lived to tell the tale. Oh, the Mayflower she sank in the cold dark waters of time still passing, but her story we tell. With time still passing, but her story we tell. And now there are crosses with tall pines that reach from ground to heaven, looking down on my feet. But I think in that darkness they did love the thought of the light in the window and the shape of the cross. Its rays of glass. The man of the lake. The man of Camden Escape. Oh, the Mayflower she sank in the cold dark waters of Camden Escape. The Mayflower lay still, with time still passing, but her story we tell. With time still passing, but her story we tell.
Love that song.
The Mayflower, yeah. I'm a scuba diver, and I've actually dove on the wreck.
Oh, wow.
And what the Mayflower looks like nowadays is the boiler's still there, great big wood-fired or coal-fired boiler. And when you open the hatch of the boiler, there's all these rock bass
Oh, wow.
Oh,
in there looking
funny.
at you, and they're
they're just like,
close the door, man. You're letting the cold water in.
yeah.
That's
So,
hilarious.
It's neat to see. So it's become a underwater habitat for the aquatic creatures, I guess you could say.
And that's when did you do that last scuba trip there?
Oh, it would be 5 or 10 years ago, I guess, probably. So I hopefully it's still intact. You know, these things don't last forever, slowly rusting away underwater. But